save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking down, trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane. If I stop walking now, that cane's gonna trip me up. Great Rising. Great Rising. Thanks for coming on a walk. Like, comment, share, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Ooh, wait till I tell y'all what the ancestor vibe to me. Whew. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Good stuff. Whoa. So I'm vibing this morning with the ancestors. I put up some posts on Facebook. I said, ancestors, I don't think they understand this whole penal colony thing. I said, in this country, old people, don't matter what race or gender, oh no, men, not so much in this, women, totally. As we get older, only the few can be seen as saying things of intelligence and stuff like that. Now, if I was in an African country, I would be seen as an auntie. And what I'm saying is from my relationship with the ancestors and from my own life experience. But here on this penal colony, I'm just an old black stupid bitter raisin. Ain't good for nothing but experimenting on. So I'm vibing with the ancestors, right? And they said, what if inmates, after they got out of jail, had to put their prison number on everything that they wear? It has to be visible. When they walk down the street, people read that number and they know convict, inmate. Now, the convent, the ancestors is vibing to me. So now the convents try to go into a restaurant. They don't want them in the restaurant because everybody knows that they're convict. They've been in prison for some crime. So they don't want to let them in the restaurant. Then the convicts. So it's not like they can get a lot of get loans or nothing like that. They can't get anything like that because that inmate number is on them and everything. So they can't get loans, they can't get nothing like that. They can't get in neighborhoods. They can only get in neighborhoods where other convicts are. So I'm vibing with the ancestors, right? I'm like, okay, come on now, come on. I'm with you. They said, now say that convict with that inmate number on the front, back, everywhere got a show, goes for a job. He ain't gonna get no job. He's an inmate. He's a convict. So I'm saying the ancestors, wait a minute here now. So they said, okay. Now say, as I said, go for an apartment. He could only, where he's going to live is going to be with other convicts that they don't employ, they don't this, that. I was like, now, they go on because I'm there. I can feel it. Even when I'm sharing with you, I know they get me to that point. I see what they're saying. As they say, I understand the argument. They, whew, they said, now, say, of course they had the inmate number all over them. They're only able to get jobs where other inmates like them are. If they are hired with their inmate number all over them by people who are not inmates, then they have to be put in positions where they can't be seen. So you put them as maintenance, or you put them in the basement, in the field. You always put them someplace where they can't be seen. So I said, well, why? She said, because if the people see the inmate number, they'll be afraid. So I said, like when I worked at John Wanamaker, and every time a black person came in, didn't matter. The alarm went out, and then the security guard told that joke. He said, it ain't the black people. It's the old ladies that come in with the empty shopping bags and leave with the old white ladies that come in with the empty shopping bag and leave with the full shopping bag. They fired him. I can't understand that. But I do now on this penal colony. Because we are criminals, because this is a penal colony in which our ancestors were brought to on. We are stamped from generation to generation. We have an inmate number on us. Inmates can't vote. We couldn't vote until 1965, and now they're still trying to stop us from voting. Because the Hatfields and McCoys on this penal colony still see us as criminals. They cover it with racism. Oh, it's racism. But the ancestors broke it down. I was like, dang. I used to wonder, especially as a young adult, no one, I thought because I had like a low-paying jobs, well, I had to live in a rooming house. And then I got a real good job. And he was paying me real good money. I still couldn't find a place to live that didn't have more rats and roaches than people. I couldn't understand that. Because I kept saying, but they said if we got the money. And then I felt totally set up. Yeah, give you the money, but inmate, you could only live in this area and this place no matter how much money you make. This is a penal colony. You are the criminal. Guilty. And then the ancestors was live and they said, that's why when prisoners are let out of jail, their inmate number doesn't follow them. But throughout jail or prison, their inmate number follows them. I ain't never broke a crime in the world. I ain't got, you go look, I ain't got no record. My grandmother scared me out of that because she knew, she didn't come out and say she didn't have the words, but she knew this was a penal colony. And we're guilty. That's why if the cop pulls us over, they feel to kill us because we're guilty. And that small infraction of changing lanes or doing whatever, it gives them the right to kill us. Guilty. Inmates drew blood on this penal colony. You see, Jamaica started out as the King's Penal Colony too, because remember, they used to pit stop us in Jamaica and then bring us here. And you never put together that we were warriors. Jamaica got the first group of warriors. And then it came over here, shipped over. But when the Jamaicans got rid of the Brits, there was no longer a penal colony because they were in prison. They were Jamaican residents. They were Jamaican citizens. And even Haiti. Haiti was a penal colony for the French. I told y'all, Africa ain't that far from Europe. And they went over there, ancestors went over there fucking them Europeans up. Anyhow, that's why how our ancestors wound up being prisoners of war. But Haiti kicked them out. So the Haitians, that Haiti is no longer a penal colony of the French. It's no longer a penal colony. They are Haitian residents, Haitian citizens. But here, on this penal colony called itself a nation, and the USA, America, this penal colony, this is our inmate number. This is our inmate number. So no, race, not race, but this whole country, this penal colony, is here to imprison our ancestors. And our ancestors was prisoners here. Enslaved, whatever. Hatfield and McCoy bullshit like the 3 R's of learning, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Whew. So, that's what it is. And that's why when you say, oh, no, I'm not African American. No. My skin is dark. But my skin isn't my inmate number. So that's why they have to make it really fast. They got to put it out there. And why we're in so many cults? Because like my grandmother, who would be in ancestor territory now, she taught, and she was taught, that if you are of a religion, your inmate status disappears. That you go from being a descendant of prison wars that the king brought here, who the Hatfields and McCoys enslaved, to being a child of the Most High King. Wrong. Your inmate number comes through clearly on this penal colony. That's why they keep blocking you so you can't vote. That's why on this penal colony, we are the inmates and the criminals. They say, oh, the disparaging. Well, you know, okay, the white man commits that crime once. When an African American commits it, it is twice. He is already criminal by blood, criminal by action. 2 crimes. That's why it's more severe. That's why a black person and a white person can rob the same bank. And the black person will have the heavier fine, the heavier time served, and everything else. Because he is criminal by blood and criminal by action. Ain't the ancestors wonderful? You sit in that church all the time and you don't get this kind of wisdom drop on you. Woo! Happy day, happy day. I totally understand. 2, criminal by blood, criminal by action. That's why the ancestors said, don't do nothing wrong, don't break no laws, don't steal nobody. We always had these laws. Don't. I couldn't understand why. They said, you don't understand. You're criminal by blood, which is 1, criminal by blood. And when you do a criminal act, when we do, then we're twice the criminal. Through blood and through action. 2. Ain't the ancestors wonderful? Let's take this break. Y'all probably missed all of this because we on commercial. All right. Yeah, my soul makes a difference. Okay, I'm going to get that phone fixed this weekend. We'll have the phone up. I don't want to take no break to silence. I sit there and be jammed too. I'm woken now. So let's get this going. Oh, happy day, y'all. Oh, happy day. This human experience. And for me, and all this jumble, lumble, lie stuff from these Hatfields and McCoys. Really? If this wasn't a penal colony, we wouldn't be penalized just because of blood. But on a penal colony, we are. Hey, here's another one. I posted it yesterday. There is 3-point-something million white farmers in America and only 45,000 African American farmers. Again, the ancestors are right on. They have to control our food. Because when they control our food, they control us. I'll give y'all examples. Y'all probably heard this one before. Remember I told y'all I got a job, and I think it's St. Luke's homeless shelter, something in Stanford. Whew! That was the most, I can't tell you the PTSD I got from that job. Whew! Child, I can't tell you. Scared is not the word. Terrified is not the word. But I didn't have this understanding of this penal system and this penal colony. Whew. So I go in there, and it's a family homeless shelter. At the time when, remember this is a penal system, so we're punished for different things. So that was during the time when, I don't know if the rich people was fighting or maybe we did something, but we were homeless. Like, they was flipping us out because, they're owned by white people. Honey, they was flipping us out those houses, everything. That's control on this penal colony. So we were filling up the homeless shelters. Please. Working on jobs that ain't got enough money to pay your rent. Got kids, can't get, horrible. Horrible. So they would wind up, even if fate made it that your house burned down, Oh. So it was a family shelter. So I go in there, and in my head, because I'm still under that Hatfield and McCoy rose-colored glasses bullshit. And they're in there with their families, whatever situation. They look traumatized, and you know, you try to talk to them. You know, it's okay. You know, you get better. You get back on your feet, which I wasn't supposed to do. I was supposed to tell them how depressed and upset they are, and I was supposed to ask them if they have any underlying drug problems or alcohol problems. I ain't doing that shit. I was like, this is just temporary. Look at it as getting off one train. This is a platform, and you're going to get on another train. You're going to go about your business. So, then I got called in. And she said that, she said, let me tell you what we do for these people. So she has this legal pad, and she makes this pyramid, and she draws a line through it. And she said, when the family first gets here, the first thing they need to do is have food. Because they, you know, traumatized, they got no house. So, you know. So I know when they come in, especially when I was on in the evening, we take the shopping cart and go to the pantry and literally fill it up. And these are people who just lost their home, and some of them just got the clothes on their back if it was a fire or whatever. So this is like, okay, you know, you can see the parents' face. Oh God, at least we can eat. A trap child. So then they take them and get them clothes, and what else they do? Yeah, counseling and on and on. So I'm sitting there, and she said something to the fact that a lot of the residents there see us like, you know, like when a school student sees his teacher in a supermarket in his neighborhood for the first time. So they see us like this. And I'm saying, oh, like God's like you want them to, huh? Woo! So she says, so we have programs and different things they have to do to stay here. And we have certain requirements and different things that they have to do. I said, oh. She says, so when they don't meet those criteria, she goes back to the pyramid. The first thing we do is slash that food in half, honey. Slash that food in half. And I done seen it, honey. Them folks started jumping through them hoops when that food was cut in half. Oh, so I'm sitting there. And she says, and then we encourage them to have intense counseling for their underlying problem. And in my head I'm saying, if somebody got burned out the house, the underlying problem is they ain't got no damn house to live in. But it's not that. Inmates. Criminals. If you're a criminal by blood, you have to have something more. You have to have some kind of psychological problem, addiction. So, after they take the food away, and you're still not complying, then, of course, the intense counseling, you have to go to counseling. Because then they're going to flip you and your kids out in the street, okay? How about sympathy? How about sympathy? Do what they say. They slash your food. Do what they say. they finna kick you out unless you go for counseling. Now, when you first come in there and you're traumatized, you had a house, you had an apartment, and now you're sitting here in this building with with these white people, okay? 98% of the residents were African American, and at that time when I lived there, no supervisors, no one in authority was African American. So then when they come in for the intake, they ask questions. Do you drink? So I tell people, don't say yes. Don't say occasionally. Don't say I just have a beer. That is a trap. You are alcoholic. Criminal once, criminal twice. You're a criminal, and if you have one beer, you're an alcoholic. So I should say, just say you don't drink. And they ask, if you do any drugs. Now weed is legal, but then it was illegal. So you say you smoke a joint. You are an addict. You're an addict. Criminal once, criminal twice. You're an addict. You're a criminal, an addict. So I'm hearing this on one side from them, what they're telling me to do, but I'm listening to the ladies too. I'm listening to this lady talk about how she can't wait to get out of here because she goes to AA meetings. Well, I said, well, if you have that alcohol problem, you should go to AA. And she said, no. They asked me, did I drink? And I said, I have a beer occasionally. And she has been in AA since she came into the shelter. Criminal once, criminal twice. So I was like, wow. And this one lady, my heart would break. They were forced in to go out and get a job, and they had kids. And then they had the daycare centers. But the daycare centers used to close so early. Oh, they used to close so early. And sometimes the mother could, because this is Stanford, it's a lot of transportation now, but it wasn't like that back then. And you couldn't get home in enough time. You couldn't get back to the shelter enough time. And when you got back in, your kids weren't there. They got out of school or preschool. You didn't make it to the shelter in time. All your kids are with the Department of Social Services. And we're kicking you out because this is a family shelter and you don't got no family. So now you got to go to a women's shelter. Oh! Whew! My boyfriend used to have to pick me up at 12 o'clock. But he couldn't get there fast enough for me. I would be in there smothering rage, smothering tears. What the hell is going on? This is the penal colony. When that mother was late, she was guilty by blood, 1, guilty by being in the shelter, 2, and guilty by not being able to get off work to get home to pick her kids up in time, 3, and they took her kids and kicked her out. And I saw that quite a few times. So my boyfriend couldn't get there fast enough to pick me up. At 12 o'clock, if he wasn't there, I started walking. I can't even tell you how many times I walked from Stamford, Connecticut to where I live in Byron Road on the New York border. Because to stay there any longer than it was time for me to leave would break me so much. And I needed that long walk home to be able to cry, to be able to rage, to be able to say, what is going on? But now I know that's how it works in the penal colony. Okay, 5. Neither up nor down. Suck in your gut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for good luck. But I think I knew it all along because that's how I raised my daughter. Don't cross the line. It ain't going like other people can. But don't do it. Let's do this 5. Remember this 8-pound weight. Neither up nor down. Suck in your gut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for good luck. Isn't that something? And I got so many examples. I'm like, okay, that's why. Oh, all right. But if I'm late for work, well, I would get my ass handed to me because someone jumped in front of a train. But it wasn't that. It was guilty once, late, guilty twice. That's where the anger and everything came from. Whew. Whew. Honey, I am closer to getting, I am closer to getting off this penal colony than I am staying. The wisdom and understanding is coming at the end. Hoorah! Hoo! Hee-haw! Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. And I'll see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend.